Hello.
Oh, what happened to your camera? Change the
I had to redo it. Hello, people on YouTube. Gonna adjust my camera a little bit in a minute. Welcome to our show. Invite people on. It's gonna be a doozy tonight, so do what you can do. Welcome tonight on YouTube, Duke1517. We'll be starting the show shortly. We just want some people to jump on, play a little bit more music, and then we'll get going. We'll get rolling. Hope you're having a pleasant evening. My camera's sticking a lot. I don't know why. But guess I haven't done the reboot. Computer probably needs to be rebooted, but can't do that now. I gotta do this show for you
It's
folks.
looking good right now.
We're gonna give you what you've been waiting for. Stuff you didn't know about. Stuff you've been waiting for.
Welcome everyone to Mexican Crossing Lines here on 88.1 FM KPPPLP Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. I'm your host, Cindy Gomez-Schempp, and my co-host is...
Duke Gomez-Schempp.
He's frozen.
It's frozen up here in the hinterland.
Yeah. Folks, I want to welcome you to my online hate show. This is the topic of tonight's show. Online hate. Cyberbullying. We've been talking about people that have been harassed. About a dozen people or so have come on my show and talked about their experience of being threatened, harassed, cyberbullied, and also being stalked, physically stalked, to the point where some folks have had to get restraining orders, in some cases permanent, meaning for life. And so I have been exposing the method, the ways in which these individuals, because they're groups of people that have been attacking and threatening and harassing and bullying people, both physically and online. And to that end, I have recently had on Anthony Agüero of Border Network News. He was the latest person that I interviewed. I hope that you all caught that interview. It adds another piece of the puzzle to understanding how the individual Paloma Zuniga, otherwise known as Paloma for Trump, has been stalking, harassing, and threatening people, including people in the media, including people that work as reporters or that are working on media platforms such as Border Network News. Now, if you didn't know, save the date, because this Sunday, Oscar El Blue Ramirez, also of Border Network News, will be on my show. And he will be sharing everything from his experience to shed further light on how this individual, Paloma, and her friends and some of her followers harass, have threatened through third party, through fake accounts, and directly. And tonight, I'm going to be sharing up front some of the initial contacts that Oscar had from Paloma in the form of text messages and in the form of audio recordings, voicemails, if you will. And the reason that I'm going to share all of those tonight is so that it sets the stage for the story he is going to tell you. If you recall, when I interviewed Anthony, right from the very beginning, Paloma was spamming Anthony, who Paloma admitted in the voicemails you heard on my show, had a bigger platform than she did, had a bigger following than she did, and had created this on his own. In addition to that, you heard that she spammed him to get his attention and was interested. She approached him and was interested in attending an event, a Trump rally, for which Mr. Agüero had obtained, I think, 30 or 20 VIP tickets, a large number of VIP tickets. And she was one of the recipients through an acquaintance, a mutual acquaintance, Ben Berquam of Frontline America, that had suggested that one of the tickets go to Paloma, somebody that he had met and had been interviewing and or collaborating with. So that's how Anthony Agüero met Paloma Zuniga. And now we're going to get to find out how it was, what things transpired in their very first communications. And we'll also get into some of their ongoing discussions. I'm not going to tell Oscar's story, nor did I tell Anthony's, but what I do want you to pay attention to is the pattern that this person has. They reach out to people, as Paloma did to Anthony, to Oscar and BNN, Border Network News, at a time when she had lost her page on Facebook and wanted desperately, in my opinion, to grow her following again. And the reason that this individual lost their page, despite everything they may say, is because they were using it to spread online hate. So that is why we are talking about online hate tonight. We need to address this issue. I know that many of you are much more worried about coronavirus. And I want to, say that while coronavirus is a very real threat to the whole world, and while we do need to take precautions, especially if you're one of the people that is in the category that needs to, that has greater risk, elderly people, children, that's something that you need to take every precaution to ensure your health and well-being. I think that if we're intelligent in America, and we collectively practice good hygiene, and making sure that we're taking care of, the basic logical things, we don't, and we should not panic. But at the same time, I also think that this particular issue of online hate, of bullying, of cyber stalking, and physical threats and stalking, especially by this individual against so many people, it needs to be analyzed and it needs to be sorted out. One way that we do that is through knowledge and through information. So we're going to break it all down. I suggest that you share, pound the like button, and make sure to subscribe. Duke, how can people follow us and support our work?
Oh, all sorts of ways. Let me get my camera fixed again. For some reason, it is acting up. My camera's acting up, everybody. Have to reboot these machines every once in a while. You can support us by going to our website at kpppfm.com and go to the donate tab, because we are a nonprofit, non-commercial radio station in Fargo-Moorhead. We do live streams. We're doing one on YouTube on Duke 1517, my channel, and we also do live streams on 88.1 FM Fargo-Moorhead. If you'd like to send us information, you can go to Facebook and send us messages there, because it seems like there's unlimited mail space there. Attachments, audio files, those sorts of things. Or you can do email, Cindy at kpppfm.com or Duke at kpppfm.com. Also, at media_PPP is our tweeter. You can tweet us there. Also, go to kpppfm.com and have a look around. It's the website that's dedicated to the radio station. And we have a Mexican Crossing Lines and some other program pages on there too. But if you'd like to find all the shows on the Mexican Crossing Lines, go to the program tab, bring that up, and you'll see all the videos and all the information and sometimes links on our stories, so you can go double check our facts. It's a great way to have everything in one spot. Also, YouTube is the place you can go, Duke 1517. We have a playlist of Mexican Crossing Lines. If you just go to that playlist, you'll see all the Mexican Crossing Lines, because we use YouTube for other programming too. We have the policy, we have the Crazy Libertarian, we have Finding Me, and so we put up other shows, and we put up other content on YouTube, because we'd like it to be fresh. We'd like to give people things to see. So thank you for your support. A person who's been supporting us every month sent another donation. I'm sorry I left the card in the other room, but the card looked like this. A nice message in there.
You're frozen again.
Thank you. Oh, I'm frozen again. It's starting to warm up here, though. We're not supposed to be frozen.
You're frozen again.
Now I'm frozen, and
oh dang!
Oh, well,
there we are.
I am. I'll be in and out tonight. Okay, folks.
That's okay, Duke. We will have your back. Okay, we are patient, and we can figure this out. Listen. When Oscar comes on my show on Sunday, and believe me, you do not want to miss that show, you're going to learn so much about what happened. Now, let me just reiterate something that Anthony has said and that Oscar has said in the announcement of his appearance on my show. And that is, they did not want to talk about this. They did not want to address it, confront it. They didn't want to be derailed from their work. They didn't want to have to deviate to address the attacks from Paloma and her followers or supporters, and people, many of whom were simply deceived into believing that they needed to attack or cyber harass BNN staff, moderators, etc. And that is something that they chose to do out of a need to be professional. What I have urged every single victim of this woman to do is to expose everything to the light, because it does two things. One, it helps other victims. It lets you know as a victim, you are not alone. In fact, there are many other victims. And as soon as you start talking to each other, as soon as you start learning about each other's experiences, you become more impenetrable to those types of attacks. People like this woman exist in multitudes. I've been reporting on people like this. We've been reporting on people like this for years, have we not, Duke?
Oh, definitely. We've been doing this work for a long time, and we've had the support of people across the country. We've exposed many frauds. We helped get a woman out of jail, vindicated her for crimes she did not commit. It was Kathleen Bennett, and she was set free. And we did fundraising through our live streams. People pitched in from all over the country, all over the world. And speaking of that, we are doing a super chat. I forgot to mention that. If you hit the $ over there and make a contribution to us, that'd be great. I'd like to thank Sniper 4919. Made a $14.99 contribution to us. The note said, "We appreciate you, Cindy, Duke, and Nemo." And we appreciate Nemo too. He does the moderating for this, so you just watch out, behave yourself, stay on topic, and enjoy the show. Otherwise, you get put in timeout. Okay? It just happens.
Right. You can get put in. But if you love the job Nemo is doing, show your support and love. I think it's a tough job to be a moderator, as we have learned from interviewing Anthony Agüero and all the problems that BNN has had. It's not a simple task. It's difficult at best. You know, we have to come up with standards and rules. This goes all the way back to the days of the bulletin boards, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the rules that they had.
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that have developed over the history of internet use, and chat groups and chat rooms and all of that. But the second thing that exposing everything that happened at Border Network News between Anthony and Oscar and Paloma, it also educates. It adds more context. I know for a fact that people who blindly believed in the rhetoric and the lies, the deception of this woman and some of her followers, I know that those people, many of them, who went on Border Network News or on platforms for either Oscar or Anthony Agüero, who were blocked, who were banned, whose comments weren't answered or questions weren't answered, took it very personally and never understood, or maybe even dug their heels in further, believing the lies and the deception of this woman. And so it can have a healing effect as well for them to tell what really happened, even if as men they would prefer that they never had to deal with these conflicts involving these women, if you will excuse me, many of whom were being busybodies and chismosas. And I'm including Paloma in this. She was like the cherry on the top of the chismosa machine. And truly chismes, because chismes is gossip. Mm-hmm. And gossip is usually unverifiable lies, right? That's why we bring receipts. So tonight, before Oscar has the opportunity to explain everything that happened, how it came to pass that he and Paloma and Border Network News and Anthony Agüeros had to part ways or parted ways. Let me share with you that if you didn't know, Border Network News, which was started by Anthony Agüero and Oscar El Blue Ramirez, is a platform that has done a lot of coverage about borders and about immigration, mass migration. In fact, they're currently in Tapachula, Chiapas, along with Ben Berquam of Frontline America. This is not the first time that the gentlemen have traveled to Guatemala and the Mexican border in order to bring you what is really going on from an unfiltered perspective. In that, it's not coming through some mainstream media. It's not coming through the Mexican media. It's coming to you from 3 different prongs of 2 different platforms, right? And they are there right now to cover what is going on with the March 10th caravan and its impending crossing across the Suchiate River. We wish them luck. I hope that you're watching their updates. Very, very interesting information coming through right now and for the next days. This has always been the intent of Border Network News, and from what I know, the work of Frontline America's Ben Berquam. And in the past, when they were getting together, learning about each other and finding allies both in media and in social media to work with, in comes Paloma. Remember, this is at the very, very beginning of their relationship, of knowing each other. They assume that somebody that has Trump after their name is on the same page, has the same goals, has the same conservative values, etc. And then they found out that that was not the case. Back then, Paloma was very happy, very friendly with both Ben Berquam and Border Network News staff, moderators, etc. In fact, here's a picture that she took of Oscar when she was in Tijuana. She still has it up on her Instagram, even though hate pages and her personal accounts have been attacking Oscar El Blue Ramirez and Anthony Agüero for months and months and months on end, including this very day.
Yeah.
Including this very day. And yet, you ask yourselves, because I've seen a lot of people talking on social media saying, why did they fall out when they were all doing so good, when they seemed to like each other so much? There's a reason for that. There's a reason, and it had to do with the very rapid escalation of manipulation on her part, not only to use the gentleman at Border Network News to grow her own platform back, a platform of 70-some thousand people she had lost. She had to start at 0 again. But also to use Oscar and Anthony as her trunk monkeys, as her personal bully pulpits, as her personal attackers to harass, threaten, intimidate, and cyberbully any and all of her enemies. At the time, those were Melinda and Amy. Melinda Oporto and Amy Sutton. As you recall, these 2 ladies tried to get a restraining order against Paloma and failed in their attempt to do so. Not necessarily because they didn't have a legitimate bullying and cyber stalking situation on their hands, but nonetheless, their cases they were not granted a restraining order. Do you
Yeah.
have you have
Yeah,
something to add?
Yeah, well, we saw him on Dr. Phil too. It's like
Yes, that's right.
people were, both sides were doing stuff to each other, and what was the factual basis for any of that? And and the people have been following this for a long time. I appreciate all the people who have been following this, for the months we've been covering this. And also, I just have to mention that this is a super chat, and Country Girl Sears made a $50 contribution.
Whoop,
Said, I
whoop.
also support Oscar, Ben, and Anthony. Trust our 5 independent journalists, reporters. By the way, gotta love Nemo. Well, thank you so much, Country Girl Sears. And also, a $5 contribution from To America One. Thank you very much, and enjoy the show. And also, when it comes to this, this bullying, we've been accused of bullying. We're not bullying. We're providing information, providing facts. We have some commentary from time to time, but it's like you were presenting a lot more information, and we structurally chose to give you details of things that you don't know about. And tonight's show is a really good example of that.
Right. See, you have to understand that for somebody that is a serial harasser, stalker, and filer, somebody that's a serial filer in the court systems, exposing that history and the pattern of abuse that they use on people in a public forum so that people can become aware and discuss and see and document for them, that's a threat. It's a threat to their rights to be able to stalk and harass people. It's a threat to their livelihood to defraud and lie to people online and get money off of them. It's a threat to their ability to go on presenting themselves as a very, very important personality in the media when they're using that very celebrity, if you will, and the platform that they have to cyber bully and spread hate online. That's what they're using their platforms for. And that is why, you never heard of don't poop and eat in the same place?
Oh, yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. There's a reason. You soiled all of your platforms with your hate and your bullying. And in so doing, you lost your platforms. You wanted to borrow and piggyback on the coattails of Border Network News platform and the personalities of Anthony Agüero and Oscar because you saw their star rising. Anthony's was already up here in the stratosphere. You saw Oscar's rising like this and you thought, I'm going to hold on to that. Also, that'll shield me as I continue to stalk and attack and harass other people. Now I'm going to show you what they talked about. The first audio you're about to hear, they're discussing what's going on in Tijuana because one of the things that Oscar told me about meeting Paloma and why he worked with her, he said, well, first and foremost, she's my paisana. She's my countryman. She's one of my countrymen. She's also a Mexican, and she's from my city. She's from Tijuana. So he felt a further duty to kind of take her under his wing and help to improve her, make her better, teach her some skills, give her some equipment. I know Oscar personally. You and I traveled to Tijuana to see him and report from Tijuana. So we got to experience what it's like to show up in Tijuana and ask to collaborate on a media project with Oscar.
Yeah, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to work with the technology in Mexico. And, and meeting Oscar and seeing him, you see him on video, but when you see him in real life, he's a dynamic guy. He thinks quick. He's very smart. He's very intuitive. and love working with him. We were working with him before we went there, and then we went there, and we want to go back again. You know, we were trying to plan another trip, haven't been able to pull that together because I have a rosary I picked up for him in Mexico when Cindy and I were there, and I have to give it to him. I have to personally give it to him. So we owe you that trip, and I'd love to work with him again.
He is nothing but a professional, but one of the things that will stand out to you, and any person that isn't ungrateful, as Paloma Zuniga is, that has dealt with the hospitality of Oscar Ramirez when he hosts you in his town, will tell you unequivocally that the man is a gentleman and that the man is extremely generous and hardworking. Extremely generous. And I mean of himself, of his time, and even of his money. He paid for our meal when we got there and insisted on doing that. This guy really blew me away that he was so such a nice person, like all the way around. Just like, dude, can't find nothing wrong. Well dressed, clean, car's clean, professional, helpful, like everything. So professional. That's the kind of guy that he is when you're a stranger that he's never met before, because we had never met before and we were strangers to him.
That's right.
Can you imagine how he felt about trying to help a person from his own town?
Mm-hmm. Also, another thing I remember is that we went to the shelters. We went to several shelters, and he would go to his trunk first, and he'd bring out bags of groceries and clothing. And he said, well, every time I come to talk to the people, I bring something. I bring gifts. I bring things they need.
And I'll read this one.
Oh, please do, because I butchered this person's name the last time I made a donation, so they don't even want me
Lori.
to say.
It's
Yes.
Lori. Thank you, Lori. We love you, Lori. We killed your last name the last time, but you know who you are. Sending you much love. Lori says, keep it up, Cindy. She's put mine and other people's addresses up. She doxed you, huh? Mm-hmm. I got messages from that crazy witch. Take her down. You know what the best disinfectant is, Lori? Sunlight. Transparency. That's why we bring the receipts. I always bring the receipts because I want people to hear. It's not my words that bring her down. It's her own words. Okay? So in the very beginning, Oscar was, putting up these issues of the local Tijuana politic and news. And at the time, if you recall, when they met, the caravan had arrived and the mayor in Tijuana was being basically censored. They told him that he could be sanctioned in some way for being anti-immigrant because he said he didn't want the caravan in Tijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an audio in which she is discussing, she's responding to Oscar, talking about this issue. Take a listen and I'll translate as we go.
Hola, mira, yo mañana voy a estar en Tijuana. Ahorita estoy en Los Ángeles y la verdad sí me...
Hey, I'm in Los Angeles right now, but I will be in Tijuana later.
Me cayó así como un balde de agua fría esto que me mandaste porque no sabía. Estaba bastante desconectada de todo lo que está pasando ahorita ya.
He sent her something pertaining to the threat of sanction against the mayor, and she says, what you sent me caught me off guard and really shocked me. It was like a bucket of cold water. The thing is, I have been disconnected from what's happening over there in Tijuana.
Pero mañana hay que... Déjame leer bien porque tengo aquí ya bajamos todo lo que es toda la demanda y todo.
So tomorrow I will But let me read the whole thing. We've downloaded the whole demand or the whole complaint.
Déjame ver exactamente bien cuáles son los términos del juez, cuál es según esto, ¿cómo se llama? La sentencia o la
And let me look at what are the terms and who the judge is and what's the sentence or what's the order.
orden que dieron y todo bien, 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 bien. Porque yo no creo que el alcalde de Tijuana se vaya a dejar. Las cosas se van a poner color de hormiga en Tijuana. Y la gente, tú sabes que la gente tijuanense se une y lo vamos a...
And we'll look it over really, 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 really well. But I don't think that the mayor of Tijuana is going to take this lying down because the people of Tijuana will unite and...
respaldar. Lo hemos hecho antes, nos guste o no, esté bien o mal, respaldamos a quien tengamos que respaldar.
We will back him up. We've done it before, and in good times and in bad, or whether right or wrong, we will continue to back him up. Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, that's that. That was that piece. And then I want to show you another clip in which she is talking about the rights of her and Oscar and all of the Mexican people.
Yo creo que ahora sí se va a hacer un desmadre en Tijuana porque el juez que está dando esta orden no, o sea, bueno, ya vieron cómo salimos a pelear todo esto de la caravana hace un mes, ¿no? Hace mes y medio. Pero eso fue como que ahí físico, como que ellos violando nuestros derechos y mientras ellos no salieran de los campamentos estos en los que los...
Something is wrong. We are freezing and everyone is freezing for some reason. Let's see. I apologize for that.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. I don't know what's going on, but we have a little bit of a frozen...
Nope, it's totally fine. Must be to the device.
Do you see the on the screen there? It's I'm frozen.
The stream health is fine, but for some reason it's frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen. I think on just buffering here. It says everyone's buffering. Everyone's buffering. Ooh. Yep. The stream is functioning properly, but can people tell me whether we have sound at all or not? Do we still have sound or are we just buffering? Okay, somebody tried to refreshing and came back and then there was no video at all. So came back for just a second. Let's hang in there for a moment and see if we don't come out of this tailspin. It's making me very sad. May have to restart the stream here. People are getting on the YouTube channel that an error occurred and they need to try back later.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Trying to open our shoot. This is really sad. How could that happen?
I'll tell you.
Why is it happening? We usually don't have any problems.
You're back on now.
Hey, we're back.
Well, good thing.
We're gone. We're back.
Gone. Back and gone.
Hold on. We'll wait until it fixes it. Oh, back, gone again. Let's wait it out. See what happens. I'm hoping and praying and hoping. Ah! Come on, people pie. What do you suppose
might be because
on YouTube is causing this?
Maybe because I have all those tabs.
You think that's what it is?
Well, it's only 96% of the CPU power. It should still work.
You know what? We might need to, end Audacity too. Hold on, folks. Trying to fix it.
Down to 90 now.
No, we're back at 100 and over 100. So as long as it keeps doing that, you're...
Yeah, it's because of the...
Okay, so why don't you close that second tab, the one that we were just listening to?
I did.
The one that we were just listening to right now? We didn't finish
Oh.
translating it, and you closed it?
No, I didn't close it. I just stopped it.
Well, then why don't you close it?
Doesn't matter. It says right now it's playback error occurred.
So it can't play.
Nope.
So do we have to start a new stream?
Probably.
I guess we have to start a new stream.